Welcome to New Hampshire, and we're here tonight for the NAOR Cup Series Season 6, and tonight we start the run to the championship. Tonight we start the round of 12 for our 9-race playoff. 3 races, and we'll head to the round of 8, and then another 3, we'll head to the championship 4 for the final 3 races of the season. We'll see who will have the best race tonight, and who can maybe lock themselves in into the round of 8 next week. As qualifying just getting underway here, we'll see who will win our DI9 Designs Pull Award. As qualifying getting underway, now keep in mind these drivers only 1 lap here in qualifying, as it has been all season long. So this 1 lap is going to mean a lot here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, very important just to nail your corners. New Hampshire very track position dependent. It's currently the top of the board. 31.322 is the time to beat.
Fastest in practice was Jonathan Parker, our regular season champion in our points leader heading into tonight. He ran at 31.014 in practice, but it had pretty tight battles up in that top 5. Only the top 5 were about within a tenth of each other. So those drivers will be all those drivers looking to get pole. Jurgensen is still on the top of the board. Matthew J. O'Brien goes to be number 2 as he runs 8:31.345. Here comes Cole Center coming to complete his lap here. Look at the crash on this one. 43 seconds there. That will be an invalidated lap. Actually, no, it's not an invalidated lap time, but it is 8:43.417. So
very slow.
He's got to start from the back tonight after that when Josh Adams did get in the wall in his lap. Now Hunter Sr. here he is on his lap now. Down back straightaway, Hunter Sr. We'll see he's going to stay up to the middle of the racetrack and what it looks like. Ideally, the bottom of the racetrack, the apron has a lot of grip, but also it's really bumpy coming off the corners. You got to be careful running down there too low. But here comes Hunter Sr. coming to the line. He's going to run a 31.546. That will jump him to P6 there for Hunter Sr.
So here comes Jonathan Barker through turn number 3 and 4. Can he go? They top the board here on this qualifying lap. Off of turn 4, looks pretty good. Maybe a little loose off the 4. Coming to the stripe, and he goes top the board. Jonathan Barker in that 48 machine.
31.250 for Jonathan Barker. He'll take it to the pole. We'll see if he can hold on to it. You get a few other challengers: Donnie Kite, Josh Adams, Jack Clemens, all hitting the wall in their laps. So those 3 will not be able to take the pole. But now Steve Maggio down into turn number 1, turn number 3 here. He's gonna drive it on the apron. So pretty much the only driver I've seen drive it on the apron there. Slides up the racetrack, gonna try and put the power down off the exit, keep it off the wall. Coming to the line, Steve Maggio with a 31.157. He'll take the top of the board.
Steve Maggio is really quick, has a couple wins on the season. He goes pole position with 1:20 left in qualifying. Only 2 drivers yet to set a lap. Hunter Peach and Zachary Meredith that are able to. Obviously, some other drivers, like we mentioned, have hit the outside wall during their lap. Also, Jose Ruiz as well.
Starting his lap, but here's Hunter Peach there. Hunter Peach coming through 3 and 4 here. Really high up the racetrack there. Now coming to the line, Hunter Peach. We'll see if it's enough to take the pole. No, it won't. 31.415, and Zachary Meredith has hit the inside wall off turn 2, spun it. And so Zachary Meredith, that will be his lap over. There's only 1 driver left to set a lap time, and it's Jose Ruiz. He's gonna have enough time to complete this lap. We'll see. Just as long as it's not a 33-second lap time, he'll be able to get it on the board. But up into the kind of the middle of the racetrack here in 1 and 2, just stay kind of that second lane there. Down the rockets, down the back straightaway, down to the turn number 3. We'll see what lane he takes. He's going to drive it down to the apron. He'll stay to that second lane. Maybe he looks a little bit down in the first lane there. Was out of the racetrack, trying to get a good drive off the corner. We'll see if Ruiz is going to be enough for a decent starting position. Jose Ruiz to the line. It will be a 31.557. They'll jump to P11. And that will wrap up our qualifying session here at New Hampshire in our first round, first race of the playoffs. And Steve Maggio will take our first DI9 Designs Pull Award for the playoffs. So Jonathan Parker also going to start alongside him. So Parker having a good good starting spot. And same with Steve Maggio, those drivers looking to try and take the championship here in about 9 weeks' time. We'll see how that works out. But Steve Maggio, our pole sitter, these drivers are getting on the grid now. So let's take a look at our Coulter's Cars starting lineup here tonight from New Hampshire. So just saw Steve Maggio with 31,157. He'll start on the pole in that 51 machine. Alongside him will be the 48 of Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Zerings riding the 00. He'll start third tonight. Matthew J. O'Brien, he'll start fourth in that 43. The 88 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno, he'll start fifth. Hunter Peach will start 6th. Cody McCorkle in the 82 will start 7th. And Mark Kisswether will start 8th. Starting 9th will be the 3 of Kyle Taub. Running at the top 10 will be the 1 car of Hunter Sr. Those zeros in the 23, he'll start 11th tonight. Alongside him will be the 22 of Josh Arnold. Chase McGuire, he'll start 13th tonight in that 9 machine. 71 of Mike Campbell, he'll start 14th. Starting 15th, the last driver to set a qualifying time will be the 24 of Cole Snyder. He'll start 15th tonight. Gabriel Hari, he'll start 16th tonight in the 72 machine. And then starting in the 17th will be the 20 of Jack A. Clemens. Josh Adams will start 18th tonight in that 12 machine. Running our final row of the field will be the 17 of Zachary Meredith. He'll start 19th, and Donnie Height around our 20 car field in that 2 machine. So these drivers are getting ready to go racing and start their playoff run. Drivers will have their playoff drivers will have the red banners and spoilers and also splitters as well. Except they're not loading properly for us right now, but drivers have the playoff banners on their cars. They'll be ready to go try and take another championship. As Jonathan Parker, last season champion, in a very dominant fashion. He's been dominant through that. He's been dominant through the regular season. A dominant regular season championship. He had about a 100-point lead over every other driver in the field. So he's looking to try and go back to back and win another championship. Tonight it's going to be kind of a long one, 148 laps of racing here from New Hampshire. So tire wear will play a factor. Also see some pit stops if you go green a while, but stages on laps 37 and 74. Now there are no stage cautions, but those stage points can help a lot for some of these drivers in the playoffs. Top 12, only the top 8 move on to the next round. In 3 weeks' time. So Jonathan Parker, he's already had a 21-point buffer over second of Mark Kissenweather. He's got a really big gap to that 8th place spot. So just that's how many playoff points he got from the winning all those races and also the winning the stages as well. Same with Ethan Moreno, he got a decent bit of playoff points as well, as he also had a lot of wins. This time by the iRacing pace car will take that hard left turn onto pit road for the first time tonight. It'll be Steve Maggio and Jonathan Parker here to lead them to green here from New Hampshire. The pace car is off into the Echo Park Automotive Research Zone. Green flags in the air. We're underway for the playoffs.
Maggio clears easily for the race lead, but here comes Parker with a great run off for turn 2, side by side down to turn number 3 here on lap 1.
Yeah, everyone's fanning down into turn number 1. You saw some drivers in the apron, some drivers way off the racetrack, and Parker was running the outside lane in 1 and 2, got the good run down the back straightaway, was able to take advantage though on the bottom in 3 and 4, so Maggio will stay clear, top 4 or 5 clear, 3 wide back for that 6th place spot there, all the way on the bottom. It's that 62 machine. It's the 82 of Cody McCorkle that went 3 wide on the bottom, but up front though, Jonathan Parker is hunting down that back bumper of Steve Maggio. Down into turn number 1, as you see Moreno driving really deep in there into turn number 1. drives this really deep on the apron. He's alongside Jurgensmeyer for that third place spot. So far, it is Moreno, is Maggio able to hold the race lead as he's now onto the apron. Making some extra grip down there, but these drivers look very slidey around. Track temp, very hot track temp. 136 degree track temp, so very hot weather here tonight. So these drivers are going to be really big, important. You don't want to overheat those tires. That will make it really bad. You slip around a lot, especially with kind of how this setup kind of builds tight, especially with this next gen car. When you slide a lot, it's just going to build all that heat in the right front. It's going to make it really bad. So these drivers are going to be looking, trying to manage their tires as much as possible. So a lot of the drivers just trying to make moves on the bottom. Hard to pass here as well, but you don't want to be too aggressive, driving in too deep and slip your tires, and you won't have tires after about 15 laps at all. So drivers have to be careful on how they manage their tires throughout the race tonight. A lot of side-by-side battles here through the pack right now. Top four or so have now top five is single filed out. First side-by-side battles back here with Kyle Taub and Matthew O'Brien down into turn number 3. Brian will duck in line behind Taub. Is Cole Steiner going to try and go around the outside of that 43 machine? Off the turn number 4, down the down the front straightaway here. Brian Horn on the inside lane. No one really using the apron too much. Just a little bit too bumpy down there. Could overheat your tires. So maybe that's why these drivers are not using it. Trying to maintain as much full speed as possible through those corners. Just trying not to slip the tires at all. Behind O'Brien, they are 3 wide, almost 4 through the corner. Josh Adams has the nose out in front, but Hunter Sr., he's about to be in the middle of 3 as Arnold will jump back in line behind Sr. Kahari stays behind Hunter Sr. now drives it deep into turn number 1, almost gets to the back bumper of Josh Adams. Driving it really deep there for Josh Adams there. I would give it to Hari. Arnold trying to fight on the bottom to get to the inside of Hunter Sr. here for now, but looks like we're starting to single file out through the field. We'll start to see some tire wear starting to play a factor here. Not too much longer, especially how hot these tires are, how this track is, but that top 5 have pulled away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, big margin between those drivers right now. They're falling off about 3 to 4 tenths already, 9 to 10 laps into this run, so tire fall off has been pretty, I would say, significant. 10 laps, 3-4 tenths. Pretty big margins there.
Start to see it fall off a little bit more as Moreno trying to get by Jurgensmeyer, but just whether trying to fight for that spot there as well. These drivers in the top 5 fighting to try and get some extra track position. Track position very important here. As you mentioned earlier, qualifying was a big factor, and as it looks, the top 5 have just broken away. Just all that battling was happening into the middle of the pack that allowed these top 5 to pull away. Now Moreno, he's looking to the inside of Jurgensmeyer for that 3rd place spot, but just can't get the grip off the corner. And here comes Farcro now, looking for the lead into turn number 3. Go down to the bottom of Maggio. Maggio's able to get the run off the corner. We'll see if he can stay alongside.
Oh, we got spin. Kiss Weather.
Kiss Weather goes around off of turn number 4. Oh, like he hit the inside. Did he hit the inside wall there? So it looks
look like
okay.
He did, yeah. I think battling here for 4th place, possibly a little contact, maybe self spin.
I think he maybe hit that bump.
No, actually, Moreno made contact. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing Moreno was kind of just pinching him down, but not really. I mean, Yeah, it's kind of coming together there on the exit. Moreno coming down, Kisuna coming up from the apron, but I mean, that's kind of the risk you run from running the apron. I mean, you just got, I mean, it's your responsibility to get back on the racetrack cleanly. Kisuna gonna lose quite a bit of spots that Moreno does not. He stays in 4th.
So looks like everyone coming down pit road. So you got a couple drivers staying out of the racetrack. As this could make a interesting pit strategy here. These drivers have 4 extra sets of tires, and how hot this track is, it will definitely go quick. But I think really it's gonna all be about that tire temp. And these cars will probably definitely see 2 tires play a factor later, probably win the race later tonight. As that's what you see. You see some drivers just topping off.
Only, yeah. I mean, that's not.
Taking 2.
I mean, only 4 extra sets. I mean. I do want to say, I mean, we only went 12 laps there, but still, it just depends on when these cautions come out. I mean, you never know. I mean, last week at Auto Club, we saw how late the cautions came out there, and how cautions kind of breed cautions at the end of that one. But yeah, just it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, we still have about 20 or so laps until the stage. 24, 25. There, but we'll see how some of these drivers get their way through traffic, like Maggio there, and they start in 6th place. Led every lap so far before that caution.
So he's gonna have to work his way through a little bit of traffic. We'll see if that dirty air and track position make a difference if he can fight his way through the field. Now Jonathan Barker, he took 4 fresh tires there, so he's much farther back, as a lot of drivers just pitted there and topped it off on fuel. No way they can make it. Be Hunter Peach and Cole Snyder are going to lead them back to green here. So Peach in that 20 machine, he'll lead the field with Cole Snyder to his outside. So 2 playoff drivers on the front row and also in the second row. So playoff drivers having a strong night so far. Green flag back in the air. Cole Snyder with a really good jump. Actually got the nose out in front at the line there. We'll see if he can manage the run off of turn number 2. Maybe try and clear Peach off of 2. We're gonna stay side by side through 1 and 2 for the race lead. Senior Peach holding the bottom. Snyder holding the outside lane, getting it the run. Not able to do it. They stay pretty much even, but Snyder going to try and pinch him down to the bottom. Snyder goes way up the racetrack in 3 and 4, and that's going to lose him the spot to Hunter Peach. But Steven Maggio is working to the inside of Josh Adams already. As now Cole Snyder now had a good run off 4. He's going to try and drive it in deep for the lead on turn number 1.
As they're still side by side here off of turn number 2, a little bit contact possibly there off of turn 2. But still, side by side down in turn 3. Who will get the lead off of 4?
Aggressive side draft there from Cole Snyder. He's trying to get the lead, and then we have a caution wreck in the back. Now, I don't know who was able to take the lead there. It is Jonathan Jurgenmeyer going around at turn number 3. And Cole Snyder actually has been scored with the race lead there. So Zachary Meredith and Jonathan Jurgenmeyer look like they both go around.
Yeah, contact on the entry to turn 3 there. Very interesting. I think I actually kind of started off at turn 2. Oh, whoa. Zachary Meredith just got loose on the straightaway.
Meredith got loose, and I think it looked like the car may have weight shifted there. It just jerked back to the right. That's what happened there for Zachary Meredith. Just how this next gen handles, it's very odd compared to the other NASCAR.
Yeah, not as stable on the straightaways, especially on older tires. I'm assuming Meredith did take tires. Yeah, he took fuel only, so a little bit older tires, hot track temp. I mean, definitely plays a little bit of part, I would say, into that right there. But kind of like you mentioned, the weight shift is definitely something unique, pretty unique to the next gen car here on iRacing.
These drivers have to master if they run the other NASCAR cars a lot. It's definitely just a lot different. You see dirty air is a much bigger factor. It's pretty much almost impossible to pass with the dirty air. I've seen it happen since the new updates back in June. It's just handled a lot differently. These drivers just having to kind of learn the race car again. But that caution coming out at an opportune time for Cole Steiner. He drove it in deep to the inside of Hunter Beach there, and he actually got the nose out when the yellow came out. So Cole Steiner will be the race leader. A good chunk of drivers towards the back of the field topping it off there again. Maybe a little closer to a one-stop race here. These drivers do have 75% fuel. We start here on lap number 20 of the night. Hunter Beach gonna be on the outside lane here. Will be second as Cole Steiner able to take the race lead away during that last run. Pace cars off the being flat, back in the air here from New Hampshire. And a bad launch for Peach on the outside lane that allow Adams the inside into turn number 1.
As the top 3 clear down the back straightaway. Kids still side by side, as now here comes Maggio on the top side of Adams there for third.
Side by side for the third place spot.
Cody McCool will really loose off in 4 there. Keeps it under wraps, and he does save it. He goes down to, I think, we're from 12th to 16th there on the front straightaway.
As Maggio having a little bit of contact in turn number 1. Maggio gets loose on the outside lane there. Adams might be able to clear if he drives it in deep into 3. Yes, he will, but Kite's going to go up the racetrack with Parker. And here comes Moreno down to the bottom using the apron. So 3 wide behind him for this battle for third. As here comes Jonathan Parker now down into turn number 1. Thought about getting to the inside of Adams, but Adams loose at the nose on entry. That's going to check Parker up, and Moreno all the way on the apron, able to drive around them all. He gets a little bit loose though, off of the corner. Stay side by side with Adams heading to turn number 1 though. Maggio now, he gets able to take P3 away, looking to try and get back to the race lead, but it's caught with Hunter Peach. Hunter Peach goes around hard hit to the front bumper as well of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Hunter Sr. going around as well. Hunter Sr. got tagged there late. Hunter Peach and Steven Maggio making contact off the exit of 4.
It looks like Maggio, no neck code there.
I looked a little bit of neck code there.
Moreno got part of it as well.
And Moreno getting hit in the nose there, but you see the clear gap between these cars here.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunate for both those drivers, and Hunter Sr. just got tagged there.
And also, I think there was Josh Arnold as well.
Josh Arnold nowhere to go. Hunter Sr.
Yeah. So
luckily, that doesn't look too bad for either of them.
Yeah, just a little front. I think definitely fixable, but still just disappointing that you had to fix your car this early in the race. It's better, I guess, it's better to happen earlier in the race than later. Definitely. As that is our third caution of the night already.
Yeah, a little bit of mixed strategy as well. We've seen tires been taken, we've seen damage getting fixed now. So a lot of these drivers just topping it off on fuel and fixing damage. So well, you have the moment here under this caution. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here from New Hampshire.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Welcome back here to New Hampshire. We're wrapping up our third caution of the night. Pace cars off, green flag, back in the air here. Cole Center, Josh Adams, restart from the front row, and a good launch for Steiner once again, but Adams a slow launch, and Parker is trying to go to the outside three, but it allows Kissenberg to go to the bottom now. Looking 3 wide for a second, but the Kite will clear from the middle lane there as Adams trying to hold up on the outside, go to the outside of his teammate. Now he's going down to the bottom. Driving in deep to the inside of Donnie Kite here. She'll back it off a little bit, but now Jonathan Parker goes up the racetrack. There'll be 3 wide for a third as Kiswell on the bottom. Trying to make something happen. The outside lane prevails, and Jonathan Parker, he'll steal that third place spot away, and they're back to double file now. As Kiswell trying to fight back on the bottom. Jonathan Parker now on the bottom as well. But it's just, a bunch of different lanes worked out for now, and it's just kind of hard to pass for these drivers on the bottom of the outside lane, just getting enough of a run. Kyle Top almost gets to the outside wall, gets into Adams there, but they're still 3 wide and 3.
3 wide, you got New Hampshire. This one, using that apron there, trying to turn that race car. He's doing a good job on the inside, but still 3 abreast down the front straightaway. The whole lap here around New Hampshire, 3 wide, as finally Kiswell does clear for a 4th place spot.
Yeah, here comes Jonathan Parker looking to take the race lead. He goes down to the bottom of Cole Steiner. Jonathan Parker, he goes on 4 tires as he took tires for that first caution we had. And now he's looking to try and take advantage of it. He'll clear for the lead into turn number 3. The Steiner thought about driving it in deep to the bottom. Losing the nose on entry though, way out the racetrack.
That's on Donnie Kite, and here comes Mark Kissenweller now for second.
That's why they're trying to take the second place spot away. He'll stay side by side into turn number 1. These drivers just seem so tight up there tonight, just no grip on the racetrack. It's just sliding all over the place.
Yeah, it's not really much looseness, I would say, just kind of not a lot of front grip. I mean, at least from my vantage point, I mean, just a lot of on entry just sliding up the racetrack, but no front end grip. But we'll see how that plays out in the long run. The longest one we've had is 12 laps under green, so as the stage is coming up here shortly in these next 8 laps.
This time that'll be 7 laps to go, and Jonathan Parker maybe a good play to try and get some extra points.
Yeah, he is one of the few drivers that did take tires there. As here comes Ari there on the inside of Donnie Kite and Zachary Meredith, whose Meredith is already up to 15th after spinning out a couple times, I believe twice so far tonight.
making a good recovery, but right now, Jonathan Parker and Martin Kissweather, they have driven away from the field, but Kissweather, he is hunting down that back bumper of Jonathan Parker. He almost got to the outside into turn 3 and 4, so these two are going to have a dogfight for the race for the stage win. Right now, it looks like Kissweather making that outside lane work, going way up the racetrack. Parker kind of staying in that second lane there, but Kissweather going up to the third, fourth lane almost. But off the corner, he's getting a much better runs. He'll stay behind Parker here through 3, and that's going to lose the nose a little bit as that dirty air is going to play a big factor.
Good run. Just wasn't able quite to get on the gas quick enough compared to Jonathan Parker, but even with half his car being kind of in that dirty air, half of it being in clean air was just enough. He'd be able to rotate that car in the middle of the corner. But two different lines, but they're both working out pretty good. Ooh, Kissweather on the outside wall, he loses a little bit of momentum down the back straightaway.
Well, he may have overheated the tires just a little bit there as he's starting to fall back. A couple of car lengths. Back to third though, Kyle Taub taking that spot, and Cole Steiner now just trying to fight now as he's one of the drivers that stayed out after that first yellow.
Yeah, he is not pitted yet, so 33 laps on these tires, make it 34 now. So if he needs some stage points here, that'd be a good call for him, but it's gonna be tough as these two drivers behind him maybe looking to go 3 wide here, not quite as Zach Marathon is outside right now.
Yes, here comes Dahari now, going to try and drive it down on the bottom of Cole Steiner. Here's Meredith on the outside, way up the racetrack. That's going to cause him to 3 wide here off exit, possibly. We'll see if one of them can clear. Oh, Meredith's going to be in the wall. Dahari going to clear off the corner. So Dahari with a 2 for 1 on the bottom. It would make the inside lane work. Steiner just trying to hold on here just for a little bit extra stage points. This time by will be coming to 2 laps to go for stage number 1. But down into turn number 1, Steiner on the bottom, Meredith on the outside. As it's actually starting to check up the rest of the field. It's just side by side there. O'Brien trying to get the inside of Kite. But now you got Adams to the inside of Jurgensmeyer. You have Moreno right behind him. Now you got Clemens there as well. There's O'Brien trying to work the inside of Cole Steiner now. Trying to get by. Final lap for the stage. Up front it is Jonathan Parker by himself. Fighting through the rest of this mid-pack. Dahari trying to get by Kyle Taub to that 3rd place spot. It's Kyle Taub, one of those playoff drivers, looking to try get some few extra stage points. But up front, it is Jonathan Parker able to pick up another stage win this season. Marcus was able to pick up 2nd. They both have a massive gap back to the rest of the field. So Jonathan Parker wins stage number 1. So stay green. Here is no stage cautions. The battle for 3rd still heating up as Dahari on the inside of Taub as they're slipping and sliding around, but they are 3 wide of the tail end of the kind of this middle pack.
Almost
of this
4 wide.
Back is Kai going to slide up the racetrack into Snyder. They're going to send them both up the racetrack. That's going to allow Clemens to take advantage. And now Snyder's going to fall back behind Jack and Clemens there, but now off of turn number 4.
I think Snyder's tires are kind of falling off a cliff right now, and he is struggling big time here. That's him and Jack
now on the
Clemens.
apron, trying to clear up in front of Snyder, but you can see the new tires versus the old tires just playing a factor. But the inside lane struggling a little bit now. It's Cole Steiner on the top, Jack Clemens on the bottom. They stay side by side here on the front straightaway. Dahari was able to get by Taub for 3rd though. Now Clemens going to try and slide him in front of the Steiner through the center of the corner. It'll work out for Jack Clemens there. They single file out, so kind of a lot of the mid-pack calamities now kind of calm down. So a lot of the drivers starting to settle in here for a longer run. But Kiswether trying to fight back to Parker, but he looks like he can't get within a couple tenths of a second. Just that 30 air just causing him to lose the nose a little bit. Do have a battle back for that 4th place spot though. Oh well, 5th place of Zachary Meredith and Matthew O'Brien. Meredith fighting the outside. Oh, he's gonna get into the wall. Looks like he weight shifted back. He's got loose off the corner. That could be a little bit of heavy damage on that right front for Zachary Meredith. But he's gonna lose the spot to O'Brien. Also gonna lose the spot to Moreno. Matthew O'Brien will be able to take that 5th place spot. Still try and chase down the race leader of Mark and Jonathan Parker, Mark Kiswether. But they have a big gap out to Gable DeHardy in 3rd. But you see, on those restarts, it got very hectic. Everyone trying to fight for some extra track position, but you see later we get on the run, everyone starts to settle in. It just gets really hard to pass. A little bit of deadlock, it kind of feels like.
Yeah, I wonder when we'll see these drivers that stayed out hit, like Donnie Kite and Josh Adams, who's currently in 9th and 10th. They have not pitted yet so far in tonight's race. Currently 46 laps on these tires. I mean, you could maybe split it up into thirds, I guess, pit lap 50, pit lap 100, and go to the ends. I would assume you'd be able to, but I mean, maybe a 2-stop race could also be, I guess that would be 2-stop race, but maybe a 1-stop race could be involved here. I mean, you have to stretch it to around lap 75 or so. Not sure how doable that would be, though. Those drivers who topped off, they might be able to do a 1-stop race. I mean, this is very interesting. I'm not sure how close it is for these drivers to do a 1-stop race. Because I'd assume it is a 2-stop race if you have not pitted yet so far.
Yeah, everyone has. There's a lot of drivers that kept topping off, especially through multiple of those cautions. Jackie Clements, he came down every single time. So no, he could be close on a 1-stop here, 1-stop race to the finish here.
Yeah, he pitted a lap, 23 laps ago, which would be around lap 25, the last caution, like you mentioned. So if you can go around 60 laps, it'd still be tough. I mean, yeah, you have to go 60, 65, 70 laps, and he can maybe make it there in total. So you have to go around lap 90, 85, which, but I don't believe we have a fuel number quite yet, so we'll see. But currently coming up to about 1/3 of the rate through in tonight's race so far, and we've had 3 cautions kind of early on. This is the longest green flag run we've been on so far tonight. We're around lap 25, 26.
Start to see those tires start to play a factor, but right now Jonathan Parker, he is gone and he has got the lead. No one has anything to challenge him. He's going by a 1.5 seconds. And DeHardy trying to get to the back bumper. Kiswether per second though. So Kiswether's starting to fall back a little bit to that 3rd place spot of Gable DeHardy. As Kiswether way up the racetrack there, looked like he missed the center of the corner. Lost the front of the race car, and DeHardy will take that 2nd place spot. So DeHardy, we'll see if he has anything. He has had a really good long run pace. We saw that happen a few times, the few races he has run so far this season. We've seen him very strong at Las Vegas. He was very strong late in that run with tire wear. Now Moreno looking to try and take that third place spot away. Moreno able to take that fourth place spot from Kyle Taub. As a lot of the field really spread out, but first, the only battle really on the racetrack right now is Jack Clements and Zach Meredith. They're battling for that 9th place spot. As Clements trying to work his way through the field. Clements guys are deep into the turn number 1, slide up the racetrack to about the middle of the racetrack, but Meredith way up the racetrack, almost got to the outside wall. It actually worked out for him though. As Meredith, he was running up into that top 5, but had a big moment off 4, got to the wall. So I wonder if that right front's really starting to hurt him now. It probably wouldn't be shocked if he got a little bit of wheel damage from that hit. It's very hard to hit to the outside wall right with the right front tire. So. And now Steiner looked like he's wanted to go 3 wide there. As he is down the back straightaway. Steiner gonna go 3 wide into turn number 3 here with Adams and Peach. They all slide up the racetrack. Just how this track is, all these cars just have no grip in the corner. You can just see them track up the racetrack. Just slide up the racetrack, no one has any grip. Steiner though, trying to drive through the field. Cole Steiner actually came down pit road, so you see the difference between the old tires and the new tires. So Steiner made it his pit stop, his first pit stop of the day.
Our first driver to, I believe, come down pit lane.
They came down the back on lap 48. So he's been out there for about 8 laps since he pitted.
So
trying to fight back on the bottom of Clements, but no, he'll duck back in line, a single file through the field. But something to mention though, Dahari has been running down Jonathan Parker for the race lead. He's now got the gap down to under a second. So Dahari has a good pace, but here comes O'Brien. Looking to the inside of top there. So just stay fighting side by side for that fifth place spot.
About Dahari, he has about 10 lap pressure tires than Parker. So not the biggest advantage. Oh, whoa! Up way up the racetrack. O'Brien running the outside wall here in New Hampshire. Not the line you want to run here in New Hampshire, but he was kind of forced to. Wow, but. Anyways, we'll see Bob the race here coming up shortly here around lap 60.
I expect these drivers to pit around lap 80. See how much longer they can go out front. They are way ahead of the rest of the field. Everyone else pretty much going to need a caution. They want to have a chance at even trying to catch up to the race lead. But Hari is running down Parker. One of those, maybe there's just slightly, there's 10 lap fresher tires. Probably a few of those will run under yellow. We'll see how much of a difference those are really making right now. But Hari is running him down, and now a really good run off of turn number 2. Hari
Really
down the back straightaway. They're going to be outside of Parker in through 3 and 4. Not going to be able to do it though.
That was a good round for 4. Here he comes. Or he got loose.
As Dahari on the bottom, able to get the move done on Parker there. Just able to slide through on the bottom with pretty much no ease there. Really good move for Dahari. I see those tires are starting to be a really big factor. I think he just saved his tires a lot better compared to Parker. Dahari now going to try and put as much of a gap he can into Jonathan Parker. We'll see how Jonathan Parker will react to this. Maybe he might pit a little bit earlier. We'll see how this plays out. Right now, Dahari is now in the lead by a good about half a second, but not much really happening out on the racetrack as the drivers are really spread out. Close battle now with Jack Clemens and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Jurgensmeyer on the outside, Clemens on the bottom. Clemens working the inside lane, looks like he's got it there. Clemens will take that spot away. So now Clemens will move up into the 7th place spot. I like to see where Cole Center, where will he merge out as he pitted a lot earlier. Cole Steiner right now looks like he's running about 5th on the racetrack. As Moreno able to take the 3rd place spot away from Kissweather, so he chased him down very quick. It looks like Kissweather really starting to fall off the pace a little bit here. But it's actually Dahari and Parker now working a little bit through lap traffic. Dahari has really put a gap on the rest of the field. Kissweather really loose off turn 4. Big save there from Mark Kissweather. Almost lost it, almost bring out the caution. Really good save for Kissweather.
Yeah, didn't get too sideways, but just sideways enough where he saw some smoke on the back end there. But luckily for him, wasn't completely dead sideways there, but only lost the position there to O'Brien. So
and right in front of Hunter Peach also came down pit road.
There goes Kissweather down pit lane.
Kissweather down pit road, so we'll see where he comes out compared to Cole Center, because Cole Center pitted much earlier. He's going to be a really bad undercut, but he's going to have to make an extra stop. So we'll see how it plays out. And I think with Kissweather, he'll probably have to make an extra stop too. I don't think he'll be able to make it. He's going to have to go about 80 laps on fuel, it looks like. So I don't think he can make it that long. where does Cole Snyder come out compared to Ethan Fonseca Moreno? Well, sorry, not Moreno, Mark Kissweather. As Moreno is, Moreno though running third. Really good run for him. He's just behind Cole Snyder right now. Kissweather right now out of turn 4, so Cole Snyder is about a quarter lap ahead of him, so farther in front of him. So we'll see how well that works out for Cole Snyder. As Josh Adams still coming down pit road, so we're starting to see these drivers just slowly trickle in, pretty much one at a time every couple of laps. Not really see multiple drivers pit at once. As you see Josh Adams down pit road. See 4 tires at the call for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, I think the tire wear is just a little bit too much to take 2 tires. I mean, just with how hot the track is and how important even the car underneath you is, I think we won't really see too many drivers take 2 tires. Maybe a last ditch effort in the last pit stop, but I think this will be a 2-stop race. I mean, maybe a driver or 2 maybe try to stretch out to a 1-stopper. We'll see. I mean, maybe the drivers who topped off and put in the last pit stop, they can maybe make it a 1-stop race possibly, because we're at the halfway point right now in this one.
We're going to probably start to see some of these drivers trickle in pit road now. So able to hurry the race leader by 2 seconds over Jonathan Parker. I wonder how Cole Snyder will come out here. He might cycle to the lead. We'll see though, because when they're not too far behind him. But I think 2 tires will probably be the call leader, depending on how much of a long you run. It just always 2 tires seems to work with this race car. Even with the extreme heat, it's just not really going to make a difference. It's usually always faster to have 2 fresh tires. For some reason, just the worn lefts just seem to make the car a little bit quicker. Just the clean air is such a big difference, but everyone's single file just trying to rub their race right now. You see a few trickle down pit road here and there, but we're gonna come up with about 70 laps to go, so we're gonna start to see maybe the fuel start to play factor. Some of these drivers have to come down pit road. Or maybe some have been saving a little bit as well. Yeah, that's why we see such a big gap. Maybe some of these drivers up front have been shifting. I mean, they won't be able to make it. Just trying to stay up start out as long as possible. So Donnie, how you come down pit road there? Mr. Hari still staying out on the racetrack. But Dahari's so dominant. He's got a 2.5-second lead over Parker, but it is 8 seconds back to 7.5 back to Moreno, and 12 back to Clemens in 5th, and then O'Brien's kind of right in between there, about 8 right now. So just that's how much faster Dahari has been tonight. So, him and Jonathan Parker have been the strongest cars all night long. Don't think really even a good pit strategy will change that at all. So we could see a caution at any moment. We saw it happen last week at Auto Club, the late race yellow, and it ended up causing a chaotic finish. We saw cautions breed cautions. John cannot finish in under yellow. Unfortunately that happened last week, but Worked out for Moreno, able to take the race win.
There's a bunch of drivers down pit lane now. This is a very big pit cycle. I mean, probably one of the biggest ones we've seen all season long. Just how long now. I mean, Cole Snyder, for example, he pitted 32 laps ago. Mark Kisswiller pitted 12 laps ago. He's out on the racetrack right now. He's about 3 seconds ahead of Cole Snyder, and some drivers now pitting just now. And just a lot of different pit strategy in this race so far, and a lot more to come as well.
But really see how much longer some of these drivers can go. You think at some point these drivers staying out really long? I mean, it might happen a little bit because some of the drivers that are maybe just pitting a couple laps ago, maybe we'll see. But I mean, a lot of these, we haven't really seen, usually at a normal racetrack, we see a couple drivers come in on one lap, and then maybe a lap or two later, but then you have maybe 3 or 4, and then everyone's pretty much pitted by after about maybe 5 to 10 laps or so. But we've only really seen one car pit at a time in about every 3 or so laps. So, I mean, really, we're only seeing about 2 or 3 cars pit every 10 laps or so, and a lot of drivers still staying out. So we're just seeing a bunch of mix of different strategies here. But right now, Gabriel Hari is our race leader. Still, as he's been very dominant. It looks like, I believe it is still Cole Snyder. Out of the drivers that have pitted, it might maybe
Mark
Hunter
Kisswiller.
Senior. We have a few.
Mark Kisswiller currently leads all the drivers who have pitted so far.
There. So Cole Snyder's not been able to get his lap back from Mark Kisswiller in front of Zachary Meredith right now on the racetrack, but just so a mix of different strategies. Mark Kisswiller is on lead lap, so he's about 30 seconds back, so he was running really well. This could work out really well for Mark Kisswiller. We'll see how much longer he can go, but looks like some of these drivers, maybe you're trying to stretch as long as possible. Maybe try to take 2 tires towards the end of this. Maybe just don't want to get caught up by a bad time yellow. See Meredith's going to go around and kiss the weather here on the pressure tires. Jurgen's right down pit road, Campbell down pit road. So we're starting to see more and more pit lap after lap here. How much longer can these race leaders go? Essentially, Jonathan Barker came down pit road as well. So Barker from second when he pitted. Still have a good bit left in this race. We'll have over about 60 laps to go. Ryan moves up to second as Parker came down pit road. Moreno up to third. Clemens up to fourth. They're both really far back. So now Dahari has the 8-second lead over seconds in the rest of the field. Mark Kisswiller right now focused on him, but where did Jonathan Parker come out compared to him? Jonathan Parker came up behind him, so Parker's gonna have to run him down on the pressure tires.
I mean, Kisswiller has about 20 lap old tires, but right, actually 16, excuse me, and Moreno down pit lane now. It looks like to run around 70 laps. I mean, it's a one-stop race, it looks like, for these drivers. But Ken Kisswiller make it on the one stop. I mean, you have to go 80 laps pretty much on those tires when fuel is. Here comes Zahari down pit lane. And I think that's Josh Allen as well. So, I mean, it's a major question. Can Kisswiller go on the ones? I mean, he has to go 80 laps. And none of these drivers went, the most of these drivers went is 66 laps. I just don't know if it's possible to go all 80. I mean, that's going to be very tough to do. Even if you do try to save as much as you can.
And so Nahari was able to make that strategy there. I wonder about Parker. If they went 66 laps, they're pitting here with about 60 to go. Could be close, but Jonathan Parker actually did jump, gave it a Nahari there off the pit exit. So Jonathan Parker looking like he's going to be the leader once. Just for the probably has to pit, because Kisswiller won't be able to make it. Jonathan Parker is up to 4th now. Clemens and Ruiz still staying out on the racetrack, maybe just hoping for a yellow for now. But Nahari was so far ahead of everyone that he's still on the lead lap coming off the pit road. So it's been a very dominant race for Gabriel Nahari and Jonathan Parker. They're trying to chase down Mark Kisswiller. With 57 laps to go. Jack Clemens now has a about a 6.5 second lead over Jose Ruiz. As Clemens and Ruiz are the two cars yet to pit, so it's been a very long pit cycle. The first driver to pit was Cole Steiner back around lap 48, so really long pit cycle there, but Jack Clemens will come down pit road from the lead. Jose Ruiz will stay out another lap, so one car away from having her full cycle of pit stops here. And that pit cycle took about 40 laps there, so Jonathan Parker trying to hold off to get able to Nahari on the fresher tires. Nahari is sitting right behind Parker now. There's plenty of time to make this move.
Right now he's looking to get by pretty easily here on Jonathan Parker. As side by side of turn 4, Parker scrapes the outside wall. And back up in the third.
Drives it in deep. He's going to make that move work, and it looks like Nahari's going to take that spot with ease. Once again, he's going to try and chase down Kisswiller, but I don't think he has to worry about even catching Kisswiller.
Yeah, I think Kisswiller will start to
make it.
Yeah.
Let's say Jose Ruiz will actually come down pit road, so Kisswiller actually just passed Ruiz before Ruiz got on pit road, but now that will cycle everyone.
Complete, yeah. That was probably the longest pit cycle I've seen in a next gen race in a long time. I mean, we've had drivers that pitted 27 laps ago, drivers that pitted 46 laps ago, and everyone in between. It's just so crazy. A track like New Hampshire, not the track you expect this to be at, but man, that made things really interesting there.
Marcus Kisswiller will inherit the race lead for now and get a few extra laps led that are worked out for him and get a few extra bonus points. As Gabe and Ari gonna try and chase him down. So they're about a straightaway apart right now. But a complete different mix of strategy for a lot of these drivers. So Kisswiller will probably have to pit again. There's a Snyder, Peach. some of those other drivers, Dahari, Parker, O'Brien, Adams. Adams might actually have to pit one more time, but Dahari, Parker, O'Brien, Moreno probably be okay making it to the finish. We'll see. Could be tight on that fuel window. Fuel window is probably around 60 to 65 laps. We'll see how that plays out for those drivers. Sorry, he is pulled away from Jonathan Parker by a good chunk right now. What, we have 14 cars on the lead lap. If we were to get a caution, the free pass would go to Cody McCorkle. That's Zach Lemire trying to fight to stay back on lead, stay on the lead lap. This kid's right behind him. This battle on the racetrack is this battle for 13th here with Chase McGuire and Zach Lemire. They're trying to stay on lead lap as now McGuire will go a lap down to Mark Kisseweather. Moreno looking to the inside of Josh Adams here for that 5th place spot. Moreno down on the bottom. Gonna try and slide up the racetrack in front of Adams. Gonna be able to do it pretty easily. Just the tire difference making such a big factor. Even if Kisseweather, if he could somehow make it, I don't think he's gonna be anywhere close. He had a lot of traffic between him and Dahari, but Dahari is now working his way through the traffic now. That could have worked out to his advantage.
Yeah, Dahari just having to work through his lap shot. No reason to rush it too much, though. I mean, you still have plenty of time. 47 laps to go here in New Hampshire.
It's a long time here. It's pretty much like a mile and a half, 30-second lap times.
Pretty much. I mean, lap time wise, a mile and a half is pretty much the same here at New Hampshire, and it's probably the most, I would say, Dover, New Hampshire, definitely some of the most unique racetracks in the NASCAR schedule. Here for the race lead, there goes Dahari to the inside of Kisseweather. Finally caught up to him, and he clears him easily through turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, the tire difference working out for Dahari, as we'll see Cole Snyder, though. He'll come down and make his 2nd stop of the day. Cole Snyder fitting now after about 50 laps after his first one. Just a little bit over, just a tad over 50 laps, but we'll see Kisseweather do that, take his 2nd stop. And I don't think that 2nd stop's to be much faster. They were already so far behind.
Yeah,
to begin with.
Yeah, it would be amount of time you have to gain. The tire fall off is not that big enough to do that. Unfortunately for those drivers, I'm sure they would love to have a chance at least probably a top 5, but likelihood of that is pretty low unless we get a late race caution, which we saw last week can change a lot. And at a track like New Hampshire, kind of race like a short track mixed with the intermediate kind of ep style racing. You know, you never know what could happen with green light checkers, or even just a late race caution in the beginning, first place.
Dahari holds the lead. He is looking to dominate this one to the finish. Oh, but Jonathan Parker! Really big slide in 3, almost spun it around.
Keeps it
it looked like he
though.
tried to get by Kisseweather.
Oh yeah, on the apron, slide ways. Oh my goodness. Wow.
That could have brought out the yellow and shaken up everything.
I think he just overdrove it big time. I think he just overdrove the corner big time there. and just lacked that front grip and went up the right. Yeah, I mean, just over it. Looked like Lightning McQueen almost trying to do like a sprint car slide job move there on Kissweather. But yeah, lost a lot of time, but from our knowledge, Kissweather still does have to pit, so it's not a big deal that he didn't get around him right there with 41 laps to go. But if Parker wanted a chance maybe to have a chance of the win late, I pretty much erased that possibility 100% there.
But it's been the master of pretty much, being a master of the very hot racetrack. 133 degree track temp. Let's take a look at our weather while we're at it here, just see how much hotter it's got. Now, actually, fun fact, with this race, it is a static weather, so it is stuck at 3 o'clock Eastern time in the sim, so it's really good. It has stayed the same. It's a very hot racetrack, 90 degree ambient temperature, 133 degree track temp. It's clear skies. 82% humidity, so it's been also very humid as well. Not too much, and not too much wind at all either. So. That's for the weather. It's just been very hot here at New Hampshire. Which kind of throws off a little bit of difference because these drivers have had the iRacing officials to practice this week, but also it's been much colder in those sessions, so it's kind of drives completely differently, especially when the track's pretty much very, very hot. So it's really difficult to drive, and it pretty much has to change how you have to drive the entire track. Jackie Cummins, though, actually able to get by Josh Adams there for that 6th place spot, just sneak spawn by there with pressure tires. You see close, Jonathan Mark able to get by Mark Kissweather. So our closest 4 cars on the racetrack. Mark Kissweather looking low here on the back straight. Looks like he may come down pit road here. Good, driving down to the apron as Peach just came down pit road. Now Peach to the outside is they're gonna stay side by side. That battle. Peach is just trying to get back, get one of his laps back. And Peach is 2 laps down, but just see a whole mix of different strategies. But it is able to hurry out in front by over 6 seconds. Over Jonathan Parker. There goes back to Mark Kissweather. Just well at the pit, then he goes all the way back to Matthew O'Brien. Ethan Moreno for the top 5. And then Jackie Cummins. So Jackie Cummins 17 seconds back. So that'll be our eventual top 5 is Jack Lemons, and he'll be almost 18 seconds back. So that just shows you how dominant Ari's been tonight. Just how much different strategy we're playing out. We still could have an opportunity of a late race yellow. We saw that happen last week. We'll see how much longer Kissweather stays out. That he'll have to pit one more time. If he does not, I expect him to probably fall back to Moreno.
I mean, I just don't see how he can possibly even make it on fuel. I mean, you have to save just so much. I mean, almost 20 miles of fuel, 15 miles of fuel, 15 laps. Quick little map there, but yeah, that would just be very tough to do. I mean, not impossible, but I mean, we'll see.
Makes a different strategies for being played out. I think Marcus with it though. I think he just came up with the radio. So
Yeah, it looks like he's playing this time. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a smart call. Excuse me, smart call here. They pay a little bit earlier because it gives you some sort of time to gain some time. Because if you pit too late, then you just can be so far back and you have no time to make up that time with those fresh tires. If that makes sense.
Let's see where these cycles help with Cole Snyder, because he was kind of battling with Cole Snyder.
Oh, he missed it. Oh, he overshot his box there. He could take right sides only as well.
Yeah, 2 tires, especially if he's fitting this late in the race, 2 tires will definitely be the call here.
It doesn't look like he is. 4 tires.
He's going to take 4.
As there he goes.
A lot of mixed and different strategies we were seeing. Well, it looks like it's going to be Gabriel Dahari, just dominant performance. As this time by, will be going to 30 laps to go over a 6.5 second lead over Jonathan Parker. There are 30 laps to go. We're going to take this moment. We're going to do a juicy spider. Crank it up here for New Hampshire.
Okay.
Welcome back from our juicy spider crank it up, and it is Gabriel Dahari still leading the field by over almost 8 seconds over Jonathan Parker. He's working his way by currently of Hunter Beach. We're kind of do a rundown through the field currently as they run. Gabriel Dahari has 32 machine running in the lead right now by about 8 seconds over the 48 of Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker, our second place runner right now, our highest place playoff driver. We'll touch on the playoff drivers here in just a second, but Matthew O'Brien staying in third right now, 13 seconds out of the race lead. He's actually a second ahead of Ethan Huntsinger, runner right now, in that fourth place spot. currently running 5th, and running in the top 5 is Jack A. Clemens, running about 16 seconds back. He is a little bit faster than Dahari, as he did pit a little bit later. So that's to be expected, but he's much farther back. But Jonathan Zergenbauer currently running 6th right now at Double Zero Machine. Josh Adams in 7th. Kyle Taub, Donnie Kite in 8th and 9th, as Kite trying to fight to stay on the lead lap. And same with Hunter, same with Jose Ruiz. They're 9th and 10th, but battling for that 10th place spot right now. As Ruiz on the outside lane, the Peach trying to stay one lap down. As right now, Ruiz and Kite still side by side.
Yeah, big gaggle of cars here.
Big battle right here. This could end disaster for Arias. This is not what he wants to see. He just wants us to kind of ghost out to the rest of the finish. 20 laps to go this time by. Right now, Peach able to sneak on by. Is now Dahari going to try and get by Kite and put him a lap down. So that rounds out our top 10 running order. As tonight also the first round of the playoffs. First round of 12 drivers. The race at New Hampshire is tonight. Chicagoland next week. They'll have a gateway to round out the first round here. They'll cut the field down to 8 drivers. But there are 12 entering the playoffs is Jonathan Barker, Mark Kissweather, Josh Adams, Cole Steiner, Kyle Taub, Giovanni Klein, Josh Arnold, Mike Campbell, Donnie Kite, Hunter Beach, and Nick Kapiak. Nick Kapiak's actually there, so this is Myrtle. He gave him a spot as he was pretty much in. I don't know if these points are possibly messed up a little bit, but off these sim racer have points, but Moreno does not have the banners on, so I believe he may have forfeited his spot. But Jonathan Barker entered a regular season championship. Regular season champion enters tonight with the points lead, because he got a lot of extra bonus points, and he is the top playoff driver out there as well. Mark Kissweather in 2nd. Entered tonight in 2nd in the points, and a different strategy. Looks like it's not going to go his way. He's going to try and fight back into the top 10. I think he can catch Kite. He's not too much farther behind him. Maybe to get Ruiz as well, but he should be able to break into the top 10 before this night is over for Mark Kissweather. Josh Adams and having a decent night, sitting up there in 7th. Cole Steiner not having a good night, just strategy not working out for him. Kyle Taub though, just around that top 10. So it's just a lot of these drivers scattered around everywhere. Giovanni Klein not showing up tonight, so Giovanni Klein just not gonna get any points. Josh Arnold sitting back in 13th, so really kind of a scatter across the field. Not really many playoff drivers up at the top 5. It's actually the only one is Jonathan Barker. So Jonathan Jersmeyer, he also kind of joined later in the season, so he did not make the playoffs either, sitting in 6th. Josh Adams is actually your 2nd playoff driver right now, sitting in 7th. So, and Kyle Taub in 8th, and it's Jose Ruiz did not make the playoffs as well. So it's kind of not a great night for a lot of these playoff drivers. So that's kind of fortunate for all the drivers having really bad nights, because all the other playoff drivers around you aren't having as great of nights either. So only really all having about maybe a top 10 at best. So if you're someone like Mike Campbell out there sitting in 20th tonight, sitting in 4 laps down, your strategy not working out for you. It's actually, fun fact, there is currently everyone is still running out on the racetrack, so that is good to hear, as no drivers have wrecked out. Even we did have a few yellows and a couple cars getting some damage and damage repaired, but Mike Campbell is in 20th, so not as bad of a night as it could have been, as a lot of the playoff drivers just not having good nights. They're just kind of having mediocre nights, kind of mid-pack. Gabriel Hari, well, a relatively new driver to the NAOR Cup Series. He joined back at Las Vegas. So 3 races ago. He's looked strong in all 3 of the races he's ran. Las Vegas had a strong car, a top 3. At Homestead, he was in that battle for the win. And then all three wide off the corner on the white flag, all getting together, and he ends up not getting a solid finish there, but ran strong. Same with Auto Club last week. But looking like a very dominant performance here tonight. Saved the tire was better. Took his time behind Jonathan Parker, and he's just been dominant since he got the lead. And he lost it for a little bit there because he had to chase down Mark Kisswither with difference of strategies, but he's been the dominant cars to beat all night long. Gabriel Hari is going to have probably a 9-second win at this point. He is so far out in front. He's just hoping that we stay green to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's all you can really ask for as a driver. Just do not want to see that yellow flag pulsing on your left side of your screen these next 10 laps. Pretty much 5 minutes.
Yeah, still has a while to go here. 10 laps can feel like a lifetime.
Oh yeah, especially as a leader at a track like New Hampshire, not the easiest racetrack to get around. Still, you're driving that race car pretty tough. And pretty hard as well. And also lap traffic could also play a factor as well. As up to Mark Kisswither, he's right in front of Hari, and he's gotten by a few drivers behind him as one driver down the pit lane is Josh Adams. A very late pit road for him as Kisswither now moves himself up to 7th. He may be able to get to 6th place, but that's pretty much it for him. That's the most he can do.
So Kisswither, you get to so gets recovery for Kisswither. Just with that kind of strategy not work out for him, but I mean, Hari was just so fast. I don't even think of what strategy he did. He was gonna win it anyways. But Hari is just so fast, and I need to get to the wall though.
I don't want to do that.
Did bring out the yellow though. It would,
I mean,
probably would help him though. You just right that 30-second gap out of the way. But
you never know what yellow flags can do. You never know if you can get involved in a wreck or something like that. But right now, Moreno.
He's trying to chase down Jorgensmeyer right now.
Moreno chasing down O'Brien for a top 3 spot.
Last time by Moreno winning a 32.436. O'Brien 32.613. So Moreno going to try and chase down O'Brien, trying to get the last step on the podium. This time by will be 7 laps to go for these drivers. Does he have enough to catch O'Brien? It's maybe about a 10th faster per lap. Don't know if he can do it. He's about 7/10 back. It's gonna be right there, but it just can't really break in. It's about 4/10 of a second, and he was slower that lap. So O'Brien looking strong to hold on to that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, still 6 laps to go for these drivers.
That'll be 5 to go for Hari as he's coming off turn 4. Almost made it. He's to make it 4 more laps. He's pretty much won this race if he just keeps it clean on the white flag. Moreno trying to chase down O'Brien here with with 4 laps to go. Just not close enough. Just not that much faster.
Really since
To
in
get
deep
there.
1. Try to stick as
Tries
much as
it
you
in
can,
deep.
yeah. Oh, he's losing that off for 2.
He's,
Hey, good run,
he's
though.
throwing everything at it. He's throwing everything he can
Yeah.
at it right now. Just some lap traffic that could play a factor and help him out a little bit. As Chase McGuire trying to get out of the way of O'Brien here.
Not really doing O'Brien a favor there. Ooh, O'Brien
Way
the
to
wall.
go.
Here comes Moreno with a good run. Not close enough, but he closed the gap there about a 10th and a half. That
He's
last
throwing
time
everything at
by.
this. He's throwing everything at O'Brien here. He's driving it very deep, trying to kind of diming in the corner a little bit. But now it is 2 laps to go for Dahari out in front. He's just hoping no caution. As Moreno trying to steal this 3rd place spot away. He's got a good run here off of 4. McGuire playing a really good factor for Moreno.
Oh,
He's gonna run off
here he
4. He's gonna
comes.
dive on the inside. A battle for the final step on the podium. Down into turn number 1. Moreno on the bottom.
Oh, it might be 3 wide here on exit. Yes, it is. It's gonna be tight. Lap car
McGuire will
backs
hold
off.
back out of it on the outside lane, so it'll allow O'Brien to take the spot, and he'll actually clear off a 2. Meanwhile, out in front, it is Gable Dahari with an 11-second lead. Takes the final lap. It's our goal to 1 to go. Sponsored by Goes Times Cards. It's the white flag in the air for Dahari. He's about a half a lap from the finish. The battle for 3rd still heating up as Moreno on the bottom of O'Brien there.
Wide job, maybe.
The final
No, not
spot.
quite.
Not going to get there, but half a lap half a track up in front of him, off of turn 4 in his own time zone tonight. This is 72 of Give and Ari. He'll win at New Hampshire, but the battle for 3rd still side by side in 3 and 4 for the final time. They have Maggio right in front. Could play a factor for Moreno getting loose. He's not going to do it. O'Brien will hold on to the 3rd place spot. What a battle there for
What
the
a battle.
final spot on the podium there.
Wow, those guys fighting is pretty much for the. Seemed like it was for the win. There for 3rd place. Wow.
But Gable Dahari, a dominant performance, just a 11-second win over Jonathan Barker. That's rare to see Jonathan Barker lose by 11 seconds.
Yeah, that's
That
not.
just shows you how dominant Dahari was tonight.
That's something you really see a lot, especially this season.
He's drifting around here too. I'm shocked how he's getting the car loose. It's been tight all night long for it seems like a lot of these drivers have just been sliding up the track because they're so tight and have no front end grip. But he's making it loose out there. He's drifting in the corner. So
Yeah, I'm guessing those marbles are helping on the top side. And,
oh, don't hit the wall! Oh, he's gonna hit the wall. So Dahari is celebrating it
Yeah,
and drifting around the track.
That makes sure you pass post-race inspection.
Yeah, you see, he doesn't have to pass. He doesn't have to go through the ride height check anymore.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that works out for Dahari. But he is burning it down after a well-deserved dominant performance. We'll talk to him in just a moment. Dahari burns it down and celebrates here from New Hampshire. The first race of the playoffs wrapped up. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the post-race interviews.
NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit NJBDesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Welcome back here to New Hampshire. We just wrapped up the first race of the playoffs for the NAOR Cup Series season. As well, before we get to our post-race, let's take a quick look at tonight's results here from New Hampshire. Gabriel Hari, a dominant performance tonight, able to win over 11 seconds over Jonathan Parker. Matthew O'Brien, his debut start tonight, picks up a solid top 3 finish over Ethan Mazzarano. A very hectic battle there in those last few laps. Jackie Clemens able to pick up a top 5 finish there. Jose Ruiz finishing 6th tonight. Really strong performance for Ruiz. I believe that's probably one of his best finishes here in the NAOR Cup Series. So good improvement for Jose Ruiz. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer finishing 7th tonight. Mark Kiswell finishing 8th. Kyle Taub finishing 9th. Donnie Kite running at the top 10. Finishing 11th tonight. One of Steven Maggio. Josh Arnold in 12th. Josh Adams in 13th, Hunter Senior in 14th, Zachary Meredith rounds up the top 15, Cole Steiner in 16th tonight, Hunter Beach in 17th, 18th of Cody McCorkle, Chase McGuire finishing 19th, and right here, our 20-car field tonight was Mike Campbell. More important thing, no DNFs tonight, so very clean race. We saw a few yellows at the start, but overall, very clean race. Everyone able to keep it clean and able to stay in the race tonight, so no DNFs, so really a good race for tonight, but out in front, though, it was our dominant performance for the 72 of Gabriel Hari. We'll take it down to Pizza and Wings Gaming, a victory lane. Gabriel Hari able to dominant performance. How's it feel able to get this win tonight?
Feels good. This is not a track I would say is one that I'm good at, but the hot, slick track really helped in my favor. I feel like I'm pretty good. The car is nice and loose, and we get some good long runs, so that was fun.
You mentioned the very hot racetrack there made it really different compared to what we usually see. 133-degree track temp all race long. Just how did that make that handle? Did it make it any tighter or looser, or just how did that really handle, and just how much tougher was that compared to kind of a quarter racetrack we usually run here?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot looser. I actually ran a New Hampshire League race yesterday, and the track temp was like 30 degrees colder, and it just plowed so much more. And then here, if you get on the gas just a bit too much, especially on exit, it's just gonna step out on you. So this race, you really had to manage your rear tires as well as your fronts, because you could still burn either one off at this track because it tends to be a bit tight. But yeah, you just kind of had to figure out a line you were comfortable running. For me, that was the second lane. I know some guys were doing some stuff with the apron. I don't know how they were doing that, what exactly you're supposed to do there, but I guess what I did worked.
Yeah, you were able to, dominate that race with the tires, and just you save your tires so much better compared to the rest of the field. Also, a different strategy there. A lot of the drivers saving a little bit to make it in the one stop there, but you were able to dominate and win over by 11 seconds. So before this interview, any sponsors you'd like to thank for tonight's race win?
No sponsors. I'd just like to give a shout out to the guys in my chat, Steven Maggio and oh my goodness, Matthew O'Brien. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to the guys who run the league for putting the show on, and shout out to you guys for broadcasting.
And once again, congrats on your race, and we'll see you next week for round 2 of the playoffs at Chicagoland.
Thank you. Have a good one.
So that was our race winner of Gabriel Hari. As we'll bring our second place finisher in here now, Jonathan Parker. Usually one of the dominant drivers, but you able to pick up a very solid second place run, dominant compared to everybody else. You and Hari were the fastest all night long, but more importantly, you are the top playoff driver once again. and just how's that feel? Able to get a little bit extra playoff points, winning the stage, and also and just how's that feel? That confidence bringing in through the rest of the kind of the playoffs here in this first round. But tonight, just kind of the really dominant performance for you.
Yeah, it was a very good race for the playoffs. It's building a little bit of a gap for when we go to a bit of an unknown with the Gateway Road course, because you never know, anyone could run good there, and anyone could make a crazy mistake. So, because it's a track not many people really drive too much, but so all in all, that it was a good points day. But I'm kicking myself because I was a little bit on the back foot with when I pit and the way the cautions fell at the beginning of the race, and then on the second run, I just shot myself in the foot. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I mean, that usually when you get that sideways in the next gen car, you're crashed. You snap the other way, and your day's done. And I was just lucky to have a race car in one piece, and after that, I had absolutely zero rear tires to lean on, and so I was just hanging on for dear life, trying to get to the end. Trying not to get any type of tire meatball or trying not to wreck myself. So, while it was a good day, it could have been a little bit better if I just used my head a little bit, I guess, because I don't even know how I got into that slide, but that was I don't think I was going to beat Dahari anyway because he was just so fast on those long runs, but I would have been 11 seconds back if I didn't shoot myself in the foot. But all in all, it was a good points day.
Yeah, we still pick up a very solid second place run tonight, but you kind of mentioned those tires. Just how tough is it out there? We mentioned after that first caution, you were the only driver to pretty much take tires there. After that first yellow, it was able to work out for you. Able to drove your way up to the lead, able to get the stage win there. But we also saw a lot of drivers during that kind of string of yellows you had early in the race top off a lot there. So kind of how was that fuel strategy there late, and how close were you guys on really making the one-stop race there?
Yeah, I just when the race started, I knew if we went 10 laps, that was about the number. If you go 10 laps and we get a caution, you should come down pit road and top off. And I thought, I might as well take a gamble. I might as well try and get a stage win and get myself a kind of a leg up. Because if I get new tires, people stay out. People don't take tires when they do pit. I'll be able to drive around them, and I'll have a leg up in terms of the stage for the stage win. So that was my thinking, and it worked out. But just the way the cautions fell, and also I had to lock my tires up to not get involved in the wreck on the front stretch. So that kind of neutralized my front turn a little bit. I was just kind of plowing after that, and I was able to manage. I thought I managed the rest of that run pretty well, but just pitting right there at lap 12, that let us do that on one more stop. It got us into a fuel window. So what wasn't executed perfectly, it wasn't a perfectly executed day. It was certainly a good enough race to get enough points to build enough of a buffer so I can not freak out about the road course.
Yeah, I mean, you were dominant compared to the other playoff drivers. A lot of non-playoff drivers are pretty much filling in the top 10 there. So you were able to get a second place run. The next playoff driver was back to Mark Kissenweather. So yeah, you had a really good points day compared to all the other playoff drivers. So looking very strong to make it easily into the next round before you send off on any sponsors, I think, for tonight's race one. Second place finish.
Yeah, it's all good. And I'd like to thank Lowe's Cobalt Tools and Mellow Yellow, Chad and Earl, being up on the box and the spotter stand. I'd like to thank everybody that was in the call. Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, everybody up front for keeping it. It was pretty. After the flurry of cautions, it was a very clean race, which is awesome. I do want to give a shout out to Zachary Meredith for being heads up when I was drifting in front of him. I feel really bad. I know it didn't affect him too much, but definitely spooked the heck out of him. So shout out to him for that, and I'd like to give a shout out to Christian Pacheco. He made the paint scheme. It's a great looking paint scheme, and he's the best. So shout out Christian Pacheco.
Okay, once again, congrats on your second place run here tonight. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland.
Thank you.
So second place finisher of Jonathan Parker here tonight. We'll bring in our third place finisher, Matthew O'Brien, able to pick up a solid third place run in his debut start tonight. But just kind of talk us through your race tonight and how tough was out there with the very hot track temps compared to what we usually see. Just how was that tire really a big factor for you tonight?
I felt honestly like I did was pretty easy on the tires. I haven't driven here in like 2 years, so I literally the first like 60, 70 laps, I was just trying to figure it out. I finally figured it out, and honestly, I felt like I was really fast. But by then I already lost so much ground. But yeah, it took a while, but I found something that was pretty easy on the tires and was pretty good pace-wise.
You're still able to pick up a very solid third place finish in your debut start here in the NAOR Cup Series. So. Now, you're not in the playoffs because it is already the playoffs, but knowing you get a solid run, just how's that confidence build through the rest of the playoffs when you pick up a race win in these last 8 races?
I always feel confident that I have a decent chance to win. I believe in my abilities, so we'll see. To be honest, I haven't really looked at what races are coming up, but yeah, I feel pretty good about most tracks with a chance to win. So,
and once again, congrats on your third place finish. But before we send your fun away, any sponsor thank for tonight's third place run?
I just want to thanks Steven Maggio for getting me in here. So shout out to him.
And once again, congrats on your third place run. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland.
All right, have a good one.
That was Matthew J. O'Brien, our third place finisher of the night. This debut start, so solid, a good run for that 43 machine here tonight. And I'll wrap up our show here from New Hampshire. It's definitely a fun one tonight. We saw a lot of different strategies. I mean, probably the biggest pit cycle we've ever seen. About almost 50 laps through that long youth run we had. So for our first car that pitted and our last car that pitted. So really wide pit window. We saw big mix of strategies, but David Hari dominant performance here tonight, and we saw really really hot track that made a lot of difference tonight as well. So we'll see how these drivers kind of turn around from the short track of New Hampshire. And then Chicagoland next week. Chicagoland we haven't really seen in this next gen car, so we'll kind of see how that plays out next week. And I think that'll be interesting next week to see how that plays out.
I think it'll be a pretty good race in the next gen car. Chicagoland always puts on pretty good shows. Gen 6, Gen 4, and ARCA and whatnot. Pretty much any car that goes at Chicagoland, and I'm sure the next gen won't be much different. Maybe a little bit more dirty air, but should be fun.
Yeah, that could make a pretty big shakeup as well in the final race of this round, the Gateway Road Course. So
yeah, very
we'll see how that plays out. We've never seen that car, never seen that even ran in any pretty much anything. So we'll see how that plays out for the Gateway Road Course coming up in 2 weeks' time. But coming up next here on the Legends Race Network is the NAOR Cup Series at Chicagoland. It's your last. That's pretty much our only race coming up here. But coming up in 2 weeks' time, leave on October 9th. We will be back with the Quantum Contender Series, which is the well, actually no, it's October 16th. Apologies, but October 16th we'll be back with the Quantum Contender Series, which is the Undisputed Cup Series, just as a rebrand. But they'll be going to Indy for their first race coming up in about 3 weeks' time. We also have the Superstar Cup East Series, so coming up as well in a few weeks' time as well. So gonna get back kind of in a full swing of things. A lot of the shows will be back up and running with 3 or 4 broadcasts a week for everyone to watch. But next week we'll have the NAOR Cup Series back for race number 2 of the round of 12. So long here for New Hampshire. I'm Aaron Brown, alongside my co-commentator and producer tonight of Talent Drake. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.